Alright, welcome back to the Wrestling Pod. It's your second host. It's the one that's never here usually. It's me, Luis Santiago. I'm here to talk about what happened on Raw. Usually, usually the co-host is here. Mostly he's actually here all the time. I'm never mostly here. Um, but like I said, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try to make this freaking a good job. I'm not him. All right, so this was from January 21st. I know we're a couple days late, but I'm sorry about that. That's kind of my fault and his mostly my fault 'cause a little bit I'm supposed to remind him, but it's like we just keep backtracking and all this stuff. So this is of course where I'm looking at Bleacher Report. This is from Eric Beeston. He wrote this, and I'm not gonna really say most of it, but I'm just gonna say this. It was from Monday Night Raw from Houston, the first appearance from Roman Reigns since his return last week. Of course, to talk about his whole thing with the Wise Man. So we kicked off the show, and it was CM Punk who came out, and the crowd was already hyped up and everything for it. You know, CM Punk came out, and on the heels of of a last week's winning a gauntlet match, no, being the new number one contender to Gunther in the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk came out there and cut a promo talking about how he's not promising a win, but he is going to try to win, and that is what I hope kind of does happen. I think that CM Punk winning and then, be fun. But he also claimed that, again, he is the best in the world, but it brought out somebody. It brought out the world champion, of course, coming to the ring to look at him face to face. With their same, they both are equally the same, massive egos and all that stuff. He thanks him for the accomplishments he has in the ring. All right, but the ending sentence right here is what got me in the world. He said he's like, I'm going to make you regret ever stepping foot inside a professional wrestling ring, and you would never be the best in the world. What interesting. That's kind of interesting coming from both of these two men. I think Gunther's really good, but I mean, CM Punk has been doing it for years, and he doesn't seem like he's slowing down. So I don't know when he's gonna do predictions, but here's my prediction: CM Punk's gonna win. Sorry. Um, this is great to be, but also backstage, Stephanie Valkyrie was having a interview segment where Naomi interrupted talking shit, talking about Io Sky, and I wasn't even gonna lie, I was turning out at this point. Um, but it brought something interesting between those two coming that SummerSlam coming close, and he could be winning. I mean, she could be winning. So let's see what happens. I don't know. It was time for Rusev versus Sheamus next. This is a rematch from, of course, a couple weeks ago where Rusev beat Sheamus. The Bulgarian Brute shook off a clothesline from the top rope from T Arena 4 with a fallaway slam to Sheamus and driving him into the announce table. This was going back and forth, really physically, really good. But tonight wasn't on it. It was nothing but Sheamus to win, and Sheamus hit a bro kick to score the victory. Great B plus, and I think this match was pretty even. Like I said, I was telling him this is going to most likely be like the whole best out of three thing where they're going to do like Sheamus versus Rusev again. So just look out for the next Sheamus Rusev match. I think Rusev should get the win overall over these. He's just coming back and he needs something to build momentum towards. So yeah, next was probably the weirdest match to me on the night. It was time for a triple threat tag team number one contenders match. And it was the Creed Brothers versus LWO versus the New Day. Come out looking like a bunch of shitty, I don't know, insults for them right now. But they were going back, but this is for the World Tag Team titles being number one contenders for it. As it looked like it was going to be the Creed Brothers. As it looked like the Creed Brothers were going to win this match. Dragon Lee interfered, but who also interfered was Liquid Kaiser. Sorry, I mean El Grande Americano made the save. And then, well, Del Toro took out everybody while countered the New Day and scored the victory with a shocking pin. Now, this is really shocking because the LWO has been on here TV for what, 2 or 3 years now, and they have done nothing. So the fact that they finally, after 3 years of doing something with these guys, leads me to believe that they really do not have anybody else for this tag team division. And they don't want to run the New Day and fucking Judgment Day back. And they don't want to run the Creed brothers because why? There's no baby faces as a tag team. Like, let's have Motor City come already. It's great to see. It was a fun match, but I mean, pretty much boring overall. It's a boring match. After this, we go to Becky Lynch and she came out to cut a promo, but backstage, it seemed like a pretty interesting thing. As it was Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky talking about talking about their rivalries, talking about shit that's coming up, and well, Stephanie Vaquer has a little thing with Chelsea Green, and she needed help, and Io Sky was the one she needed help from. Somewhere else, Grayson Waller was trying to freaking get into the New Day, and make them a trio again, but I don't think it's gonna work. The whole Oriole thing is not working here. But I don't know. Now the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion came out and said she should have been in New York at the premiere of her new movie Happy Gilmore's 2. Mind you, I'm only watching it because one, I think the first one was really good, and I'm only watching it for Bad Bunny. Damn right, Puerto Rican, a week while stand up. But she said I'm in Houston, Texas. She accused Laura Fakir of gatekeeping title shots and called out her rival, which fucking hilarious coming from Becky Lynch. The former champion took her up on her offer and joined her former friend and prodigy in the ring, resulting in a no count out, no disqualification match for the SummerSlam for the title. But the stipulation is that Kyria loses, she cannot challenge for the IC title. So, listen, I know this dude's gonna probably be like, "Ooh, it's a stupid stipulation," and blah blah blah. Live for Kyria should win. Fuck that. The man's gonna win again. Just fucking do it already. Graded C plus. Overall, I think this was a pretty underwhelming segment between the two. I think it could have been better, but it really wasn't. But it was pretty. It sets up something could be fun at SummerSlam. Next was the Judgment Day versus Lava Kyria and Bayley. Of course, this is them getting their chance after, of course, at WrestleMania 21. It was Becky who stepped in and won that match. So, we get to this tag team match. Pretty interesting stuff, but it was all about the ending. Dominic came out to, weasel his way and do all that stuff. Ended up getting knocked down by freaking Laura Valkyria, who, of course, as he was getting checked out by medical staff, of course, a nice little medical staffer himself looked kind of interestingly familiar. Oh, yes, it was the phenomenal AJ Styles. AJ Styles came out, surprised Dominic, made him run in the back. It was pretty funny stuff. But a sneak attack from Lynch to Laura Valkyria spelled the ending of this match as a Tijuana fucking bomb from freaking Raquel Rodriguez, and they earned a successful title defense for the Judgment Day. Listen, I mean, I think the tag team titles at this point, the women's tag team titles, are so free and boring. I don't know why they keep them on the show. They don't do anything. There's no women tag teams at this point, and even the ones they do have are just so bland and lame. It makes it dumb watching. But yeah, it could be, if they find some way to make this fun, I'll check it out. But yeah, it's great to be somehow. Then we get Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, and I was so in for Karrion Kross. Killer Kross better win. In a rematch from their Night of Champions match, and also for Sami Zayn getting his ribs injured, it seemed like Sami Zayn had a lot to lose here. But coming through, Sami Zayn was fighting back, delivering an exploder. Holy shit. Delivering an exploder suplex. Living in a blowing suplex. But right when you think he was going to win, nah. Karrion Kross. does what he does best. Counters and hits him with a lead pipe to win the match. And I was somewhere being happy. Backstage, Dominic Mysterio attacked AJ Styles, claiming that he will be cleared to see the phenomenal AJ Styles at SummerSlam. This was created to be for the match, and you know what? I think the match was interesting. I love, like I said, I think Karrion Kross should be doing much more than what he is doing, but it is fun to see him work with Zayn, and he probably could be leading up to something more for him. I hope, but we will see about that. Yeah. Next was, well, it was supposed to be. Great. It was Io Sky versus Stephanie Valkyrie, of course. Um, why did I think this was a tag team match at first? Probably because I fell asleep during this and I only saw the running at the end. But I will tell you this. Um, this was an entertaining match. Io Sky versus La Primera was pretty good. They went back and, like I keep gonna say, they were doing their stuff in this match. It was pretty good, but of course, right as you think right as you think we're about to get interesting, WWE had to put a fast one. And of course, the Secret Service came out as Albany Fire, and the other one came out and distracted and freaking allowed Jesse Green to fucking beat the shit out of the two baby faces. As they recovered, they came out and started beating on the heels. But Naomi came out, hit Sky from behind, and the Numbers was on the heel side until, well, here comes Mommy. Rhea Ripley came out, made her way to the ring, and laid out the Women's World Champion. Of course, ahead of SummerSlam. This was ready to beat, even though I don't think so. It's just stupid to give us a no contest at this point. And especially this late into a show. Like, I don't know why they do this on a Raw. Like, I get doing a no contest early on, or like even the main event, because like a main event kind of makes sense, to do like a big final segment and to show off. But like at this point, where it's like kind of near the end of the show, is like, why? It's just kind of stupid at some points. But yeah, I hope that. I just kind of wish Naomi retains at SummerSlam at this point. I don't know why she would lose it to either Io Sky or fucking Rhea Ripley at this point. I just hope Clash at Castle with her and Stephanie Valkyrie will be interesting. If it was up to me, I'll make Stephanie Valkyrie win that match, but we'll see. Now it's time for the ending. Yes, it's time for what it was. Paul Heyman came out with, of course, the rest of the other guys, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I don't think they even have a name for that faction. But they came out. He comes out to the ring and he's talking. And he's talking all this massive shit. But the OTC came out and interrupted him. And Paul Heyman said that he never wanted to disrespect or be rude to Roman Reigns. Never wanted to do that. But he made one mistake at WrestleMania, and this will cause a promo. He also said that you will always be my family, and because I love you, my tribal chief. God, they even made this up. I mean, we're not even in June no more. Can we stop it? But Roman Reigns said this to you: you're not the wise man no more. You're just a dumbass. And oh my God, that's where I totally wanted to break out, because he says that damn word throughout this entire promo. Dumbass becomes the legit freaking word of the day. If there was like a Sesame segment, like a Sesame Street segment on this Raw, it would have been dumbass. Word of the day. That's the word of the day. Dumbass. Because Roman Reigns, for God's sakes, made this word feel like the worst thing I can ever hear in my life. Because he said this so much, I wanted to legit freaking absolutely lose hearing in my ears. But he did say, I did like this part where he said, you couldn't create the bloodline. No, that's God's work. I like that Braun Breaker says, I'm the big dog. I'm the top. I'm the big dog now. I'm the top dog. I'm the future dog. I'm the man around here. And then Roman Reigns proceeded to fucking put his ass on the fucking ringer. That's until they came to blows. The heels, it seemed like Roman was about to kind of make it in, but the heels kind of beat the shit out of him until, well, it's main event time, so that means it's Jey Uso time. Jey Uso came out, made a save. The fucking crowd went ballistic. The two ended it with double spears onto both of them. This is rated a B plus. I think this was great. Braun Breaker has continued. He's continued to stand out, but he's continued to get better ever since his NXT debut, and that's what is good. It's hard for a guy like him, especially a guy from a legendary family like the Steiner family, to really make it out because you have a lot of expectations, especially when they push you to the top spot, to be great. And he has provided that he can be more than what the ceiling was supposed to be for him. They say it's a grade of B plus. I know he usually just kind of runs it down, but I'm not. I'm more of I do my own thing. Listen, as much as the show was really good, a B plus or like a 7 out of 10 or whatever people like to put on their rating systems is just not right. Raw is Raw, and Raw is good at most points, but this Raw felt like it was just building up and filler to a SummerSlam card that's only 2 or 3 weeks away. Listen, I think that with all, I love what Triple H is trying to do here, but it's just at some point you have to really start giving us something more interesting. I like the Rusev and Sheamus thing. That was interesting. Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross was pretty interesting. The triple threat tag team match was interesting, but just stupid interference. And I don't care about the winner. They'll win. I just don't care. It's just the way they won just made it felt more stupid. Because of that whole storyline and the whole Americano thing. I just don't really care for it at this point. And I never have. But I really want them to at least try better. You can see that he's kind of slowing down. And I feel like he's kind of focusing a lot on the SmackDown aspect, which is cool because it always felt like from the point of this year that Raw has always had the better show and Raw has always been the most consistent. And I like that now he's kind of focusing like, okay, I need to do something with SmackDown. But at some point you also got to think like, hey, you have 2 shows and the show on Tuesdays is looking pretty much one of the better shows. I mean, so it's like the Tuesday show, NXT is out here kind of blowing both of you guys out. Was the way this interesting with between Dom and TNA, which makes it interesting. With the whole thing with Trick being TNA champion and the fact that J.C. Jane just won the TNA Knockouts champion. Pretty interesting. So WWE's main roster needs to step it up, and I think right now it's showing me that it's just been slowing down, and I feel like he needs to make a big step after SummerSlam. That's just my opinion. It's probably not his. He's freaking pro. Love Triple H, and sometimes he will rant about it, but he's pro Triple H. But this is it for me. Leave a comment if you think I'm a piece of shit or I'm wrong about this. Heck, listen, I don't even care. That's on you for kind of being that. I'm entitled to my opinion, and your pitching is stupid. And I know mine probably is, but yours is probably more stupider than mine. So, whatever, leave a comment. This has been Luis Santiago from the Wrestling Podcast.